We all want to grow as humans, but also in our corporate careers, right? And when you do grow to that leadership role, which you're in now, the uncomfortable truth that not everyone speaks about is that you have to make people around you better. You hear it a lot of time in sports. This player makes other players better, you know? And that's why, that's why she's such a valuable player. Take Caitlin Clark, for example, of the Indiana Fever. If you don't know her, you've been living under a rock, right? One of the best female basketball players of all time. She makes everyone better, right? Everyone becomes better because of her. She's as good as a passer, as a scorer. She's impossible to stop off the dribble. She is impossible to stop when she goes left in a step back. She's impossible to stop even when they're right on the step back. She's, cuts. She is basically impossible to stop, right? And when you make other people better, that's when you obviously transcend in your career. Well, that's a long story short for one single slide. But anyway, that is kind of the uncomfortable truth. People don't tell you. You're like, I'm going to do my own thing and I'm going to do my work and I'm going to do my work better. And actually, that's not even true at all. So you came up by doing the work. You've done the work. You're a practitioner. You're someone who understands, I need to build this. I need to produce. I'm not just going to let someone else do it. I'm going to create the social media calendar. If you're in sales, I'm going to follow up with the leads. I'm going to have this whole pipeline of leads. I'm going to knock on doors. And you've done that. But the thing is, when you're leading, it's not actually your main job anymore. As uncomfortable as it might be, that's what it is. And the job now is really the people around you, right? That is the job. And sometimes it feels a bit odd. Maybe if you're like a football coach that used to be a player like Pep Guardiola, and then all of a sudden you're a coach and you would have if you would do it yourself, you probably say I could do a better job, right? But you need to let them do it. So how does that transition go? So one of the things to make them better and to get them on your level and to make sure that your team is actually really primed for success, and because you're leading that team, you think about training, which makes sense, right? Because athletes want to become better, they train. Salespeople want to become better, they train. Marketing people want to become better, they train. So I would have done the same thing. The thing is, most of the courses people sign up for or get signed up for, the crazy thing is that most people don't even enter, right? So imagine training. I mean, I've done it once. Like, I trained for a marathon in Barcelona and I couldn't make it due to personal circumstances. But normally, if I train for a marathon, obviously I'm going to run it, right? So, but it happens. But imagine that's the norm. You always train and then you don't show up, right? And here's some facts. When you look at courses that you can run in your own pace, it's 5 to 15%. But when you look at free courses, right, like some courses are actually free, it's around 3%, right? And that is a crazy number, especially when you compare it to 72%. So if you feel like, okay, I'm that leader now, I want to make my team better, I can do everything myself, but what I can do is I can train the team and elevate the entire level, and that will help our company forward, right? So the reason it's 72%, which is a massive difference than 3%, right, is because when you put it in the calendar, you do it all together, and you make sure that this is not optional, right? This is actually the work, to be honest. Yeah, like I said, if it's in the calendar, it's something you're able to do, right? And your team is able to follow through because it's in their calendar. If this is going to interfere with evenings because it's actually something you have to do on top, this is obviously, training is harder and it's probably not going to work. 45 minutes. That's it. That is why, the completion rate or the people that go through it and complete it is 72% versus 3%. It's 45 minutes a week. This is less than a meeting, and you don't like meetings. Neither do I. Like, let's be honest. Most people don't like meetings, right? It's not a secret. This is even less than one single meeting. However, if you say you have to do this on top, it's really not going to work, right? Like if you get sent to like a training for 3 days, but then you say all your emails have to be up to date and I don't care what you do, then basically this person doesn't have a break, because in the break, instead of mingling with others, like you're doing your email. I think everyone that's worked for corporates, anyone that's worked, knows how that's like. Sometimes you still have to keep the ball rolling because there's a lot of projects that you can't just drop the ball on, even though you might be in a very important training. But the training is the actual work. So it's a mindset shift, right? And you want to make your team better. Your team does well, you do well. Your team doesn't do well, you're not doing well, right? It needs to be clear that training is the work, right? This makes me think of Allen Iverson. Are we talking about training? We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. But, training is important. Like, we're not all Allen Iverson, that don't train the whole offseason and then show up and then first game drop 50, right? So I think, knowing that if you are going to enroll people, right? And Torque, we specialize in AI training for small, medium-sized businesses, especially for marketing and sales. Or not even especially, that's it. That's what we focus on because that's where we believe it moves the needle for our business, right? If you're going to pay for the whole course and 3% finishes it, it's not like any company is going to say, well, the completion rate is 3%, so you just pay 3%. No, you pay for the whole course anyway. So you might as well make sure they finish it so that, your team reaps the benefits. So it's a mindset shift that you as the leader of that organization needs to have. You already first need to clock those 45 minutes with your team, with your managers, with your leaders on your team to make sure that that's locked down. Once that's locked down, you can obviously then enroll them in the training. If those 45 minutes aren't there, don't enroll on the training. And it might sound, strange coming from me, since obviously I'm the founder of Torque, or not obviously, probably don't even know me, but I'm the founder of Torque. My name is Rich Loen. We help companies with AI for marketing and sales. And it might sound strange to hear it from me, but why would you enroll a whole team and they don't finish it and then you're not happy? You're not happy. We're not happy. Thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.